And when I grew up, late 40s, early 50s, you pretty much stayed in your own town. You didn't even know people in other towns. The only time we ever saw other kids our age was at basketball games or if you were part of a church group. So that when I became a member of the first graduating class from the regional high school, we entered in 1959 and graduated in 1960, I met kids my age who'd grown up on the island just as I had, that I'd never seen before in my life. I mean, that can't happen now, which is wonderful.
Leading up to the establishment of the regional high school, there was a lot of controversy.
Oh, there certainly was. And people hated the idea, hated it. You know how the 6 towns hold so with a death grip onto their own personalities and autonomy. It was the most threatening thing in the world. We all hated it. We hated the idea of it. Oh, I wasn't going to go. I'd go off island before I'd go to the regional school. A lot of us kids felt that way. Oh, hated the idea. Hated it. Well, it was almost like a betrayal of what you knew and valued. And there was a great deal of sadness that I'd been in one building pretty much, from first grade and then to have to move and give up. Edgartown wasn't having a high school anymore. It was traumatic. It really was.
And your parents were against it?
They saw that regionalization was the way to go. I think they understood the concept. I think that, and a lot of people did on the island and fought very hard for it. There were a lot of hearings, but it was also clear that regionalization was the way to go, that the state was demanding regionalization, and if you wanted money for your community, this was how you were going to have to do it. And of course, once we got there, we loved it. It was great. There were so many opportunities that hadn't been available to us. I mean, it was a taste of the real world. It was fascinating because, first of all, it was a building with many, many rooms, whereas in Edgartown, there was 3 grades had their desks in the study hall. And then the freshmen were in Joe Robichaux's room. But you could hear what was going on in the other room. And of course, it was all you wanted to hear was what the big kids were doing. And so here, there were hallways, corridors, rooms for all the different classes. It was a maze of just getting around. And it's worse now. But there was also the exhilaration of something new and meeting new people. And of course, at that age, it's all about the dating scene. So, the fact that there were guys that we'd never met before, whoa. By the time we actually walked in the door, it was already changing because now it was our school. It was our school. And so we owned it. And we also had a lot of opportunities we were now seniors. We were chuffed at being seniors. We had to work on the yearbook, which was great fun. We had a literary magazine. There were clubs. There was a chess club and a photography. There were lots more opportunities. Nobody could miss that. It was fun. And the teachers, it was new for them too. I mean, we weren't walking into anything that had been established. We were it. We could establish. And there was that feeling. There really was. This was groundbreaking. And that's very different. If you go into somebody else's school, again, where there is a culture, where there is tradition, that's one thing. But we weren't doing that. We were setting that. I think it went smoother than people realized. Some of the teachers came along from the other school, so some of the teachers were very familiar, which was fun. John Mayhew, who was wonderful, but there were a lot of new ones too. Charlie Downs, who had a lot of experience, was the superintendent. Nice man, comfortable. And Mary, his daughter, was in my class, and it was great getting to know her as a person other than cheerleader for the Oak Bluffs basketball team and that sense of rivalry. Getting to know the Oak Bluffs girls was very interesting because there was all that rivalry that went on before. Yeah, you didn't have any opportunity to get to know them or chat with them or get to know them as people. They were just them. Edgartown and Vineyard Haven got along better than Edgartown and Oak Bluffs. And this is just a culture you grow up in. Our guidance counselor was George Metallius. And Grace Metallius was living in the rented garage apartment behind Cappy Lane's house. And there was a little squib that winter in Time magazine that Grace Metallius was working on an expose of the winter colony on Martha's Vineyard. We loved it. Whoa, we're in Time magazine. Are you kidding? But she never did.